Have you ever heard of a miracle that defies all medical explanation? Today, we're diving into the incredible story of Saint Charbel Makhlouf, a humble Lebanese monk whose influence has stretched far beyond his quiet life in the 19th century, right into our modern world. In 2026, two extraordinary events, separated by thousands of miles, once again brought his name to the forefront of global attention, leaving doctors baffled and believers inspired. Let's explore these two new miracles. First, let's understand who Saint Charbel was. Born Youssef Antoun Makhlouf in 1828 in a small village in northern Lebanon. He lived a life of profound prayer, fasting, and solitude as a Maronite Catholic monk. He spent the last 23 years of his life as a hermit, completely dedicated to God. After his death in 1898, mysterious and intense light was seen emanating from his tomb. When authorities exhumed his body, they found it was perfectly preserved, incorrupt, and exuding a sweat-like liquid that smelled of blood and was credited with miraculous healings. For decades, his body remained flexible and lifelike, a phenomenon that has never been fully explained by science. Since then, thousands of miracles have been attributed to his intercession, making him one of the most revered saints in the world, not just for Christians, but for people of all faiths who seek his help. Now, let's fast forward to 2026, to a quiet suburb in Indiana, USA here. We meet Georgianne Walker, a 58-year-old grandmother known for her vibrant spirit and love for gardening. For over a decade, Georgianne had been battling a severe case of macular degeneration. This aggressive eye disease was progressively stealing her sight, blurring the faces of her grandchildren and turning the vibrant colors of her beloved garden into a dull gray haze. Her ophthalmologist, Dr. Evans, had tried every available treatment: injections, laser therapy, specialized supplements, but nothing worked. By early 2026, Georgianne was legally blind in her left eye, and the vision in her right was fading fast. Doctors gave her a heartbreaking prognosis. Complete blindness was inevitable and likely just months away. Georgianne felt a profound sense of despair. The thought of never again seeing her family's smiles was almost too much to bear. One evening, her daughter Sarah, who had heard about Saint Charbel from a friend, brought her a small bottle of holy oil from his monastery in Anaya, Lebanon, along with a prayer card. Georgianne, though a woman of faith, was skeptical. She had prayed for so long, and things only seemed to get worse. But seeing the hope in her daughter's eyes, she agreed to try. That night, with Sarah by her side, Georgianne closed her eyes. Sarah gently applied a drop of the oil to each of her mother's eyelids and read the prayer to Saint Charbel aloud, her voice filled with desperate hope. "O Saint Charbel, O vessel of sweet perfume, intercede for us." They prayed together, a simple, heartfelt plea for help. Georgianne fell asleep with a glimmer of peace she hadn't felt in years. The next morning, something felt different. As sunlight streamed through her window, Georgianne blinked. Instead of the usual murky gray, she saw a clear, sharp ray of light. She sat up, her heart pounding. She looked at her hands, turning them over, seeing the lines on her palms with a clarity she hadn't experienced in years. She rushed to the window and gasped. The leaves on the trees outside were distinct, each one a vibrant green. Her garden, which had become a formless blur, was now a tapestry of brilliant reds, yellows, and purples. When Sarah came into the room, Georgianne looked at her daughter's face and began to weep. She could see every detail: the freckles on her nose, the warmth in her eyes. It was a miracle. A few days later, they went back to see Dr. Evans. He was stunned. The advanced scans he had taken just weeks before showed severe, irreversible damage to her retinas. He ran the tests again, and then a third time. The new scans were unbelievable. The scar tissue had vanished. The delicate cells of her macula, which had been degenerating, appeared healthy and renewed. He had no medical explanation. He looked at Georgianne, shook his head, and said, "In all my years of practice, I have never seen anything like this. This is medically impossible." Georgianne just smiled and showed him the small prayer card of Saint Charbel. Her story quickly spread, becoming a powerful testament to faith's ability to shine a light in the darkest of times. Now, let's travel across the globe to Lebanon, the homeland of Saint Charbel. Here, in a bustling town just outside of Beirut, we meet Racha Charbel, young woman of 32. Coincidentally sharing the saint's last name, Racha's life was turned upside down in late 2025 when she was diagnosed with an aggressive, inoperable brain tumor located deep within her brainstem. The glioma was wrapped around critical nerves, making surgery impossible. The world's best neurosurgeons had all reached the same conclusion. Any attempt to remove it would result in paralysis or death. Radiation and chemotherapy had been relentless, leaving Racha weak and frail, but the tumor continued to grow. By the spring of 2026, she was suffering from excruciating headaches, loss of balance, and partial paralysis on her right side. Doctors told her family to prepare for the worst, giving her only weeks to live. Racha's family, like many in Lebanon, had a deep devotion to Saint Charbel. Her elderly grandmother was a constant presence at her bedside, praying the rosary and holding a relic of the saint. One particularly difficult night, Racha was in immense pain, barely conscious. Her grandmother felt a sudden, powerful urge to take her to the monastery in Anaya, where Saint Charbel is buried. It seemed like an impossible journey. Racha was far too weak to travel, but the family, clinging to a final thread of hope, decided to try. They carefully carried her to their car and began the slow, winding drive up the mountain to the monastery. They arrived late at night, the air crisp and cold. The monastery was quiet. They carried Racha inside and laid her down on a mat before the saint's tomb. The family knelt around her, their voices a low murmur of prayers, tears streaming down their faces. They placed a cloth that had touched the tomb on Racha's forehead. For hours, they prayed, a desperate, unified plea for mercy. As dawn approached, something incredible happened. Racha, who had been almost unresponsive for days, stirred. She opened her eyes and looked at her mother. In a weak but clear voice, she asked for a sip of water. A jolt of shock and hope went through the family. Over the next few hours, the color returned to her face. She was able to sit up on her own, something she hadn't done in weeks. The numbness in her right side was gone. She felt no pain. When they returned to the hospital in Beirut, her doctors were in disbelief. They immediately ordered a new MRI. The entire medical team gathered in a room to look at the results, expecting to see the large, menacing tumor. But it was gone, completely vanished. There was no trace of it, not even scar tissue. The brainstem, which had been compressed and distorted, was now perfectly normal. Lead oncologist, a man of science who had seen it all, was speechless. He reviewed her previous scans, comparing them with the new ones, searching for any logical explanation. There was none. Later told the news crew, "We are trained to rely on data and evidence. The evidence here points to something beyond our understanding. This is a case for the theologians, not for me." The stories of Georgianne Walker in Indiana and Racha Charbel in Lebanon, though thousands of miles apart, are profoundly connected. They represent a powerful convergence of desperation and faith, science, and the supernatural. For the individuals and families involved, these events were life-altering. A direct intervention that restored not just physical health, but also hope and purpose. For the medical communities, they served as a humbling reminder that there are still mysteries in our universe that lie beyond the reach of our current knowledge. These miracles of 2026 did more than just heal two people. They sparked a global conversation about faith in the 21st century. In a world often dominated by skepticism and division, the stories of Georgianne and Racha resonated deeply with millions. They reminded people that even when all hope seems lost, when science has reached its limits, there is another power we can turn to. The humble monk from Lebanon continues to be a bridge between heaven and earth, a sign that the miraculous is not confined to the pages of history books, but is alive and active in our world today. His legacy is not just about inexplicable healings, but about inspiring a deeper faith, courage, and hope in the human heart. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey today. If these stories touched you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores the fascinating intersections of faith, mystery, and our modern world. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Stay curious and stay inspired.